iPadOS 26.2 beta actually fixes multitasking for those who really didn't enjoy the new updates that Apple brought to us this fall in the initial iPadOS 26 release. Now, quick refresher, Apple introduced at WWDC a new way to multitask inside of iPadOS, making things a bit more Mac-like than ever before. You now have a bunch of windows that you can resize and position all throughout your display. And I think most people, myself included, were fine with this addition and actually really wanted something like this. It's really nice to have that level of flexibility, but for some reason, Apple removed slide over and split view, which were the two main original ways that you were able to multitask on an iPad. And for some people out there, especially those with smaller iPads, that was kind of the only way they wanted to multitask. Well, in the current iPadOS 26.1 release and now in the new 26.2 Beta 3, Apple brought these two features back in a familiar but slightly different way. Let's start with the latest addition in Beta 3, and that's the return of split view. Technically, split view has kind of always been there, but it was just a pain to navigate in iPadOS 26, and it wasn't as seamless as it was before. Beta 3 fixes this and pretty much brings it back to what it used to be. So to get into split view, you just need to be in either the windowed or stage manager modes here that you can access either by Control Center or just in the settings menu, as you can see here. Now, as of right now, split view and slide over does not seem to work with full screen app mode, which I'm guessing was probably intentional. So in order to get into it, you need to either be into the windowed or stage manager modes. And then if you want to get into split view, you just drag an app to either side here, and it kind of needs to snap into place and position itself perfectly, taking up about 50% of your screen. And then you just go ahead and drag and drop another app to the other side, and you'll start to see this little arrow pull tab looking thing here, and it just kind of signifies that you're about to enter into split view. And as you can see, we have our two apps side by side, and then I can go in the middle and grab that little slider and resize those apps and kind of drag it around like we used to be able to do before. Adding new apps is also as easy as just dragging and dropping from really anywhere, the dock, app drawer, etc., and just pick a side that you want to replace the app and let go, and boom, you'll have another app on top of the one that you had before, replacing it for split view. Now, most apps work perfectly. I did find one that seems to behave rather strangely with this. It could just be some developer tweaks that need to be done, or perhaps it is a bug in the beta with that app specifically. I don't really know, but this specific app doesn't want to play well with slide over or split view. However, everything else seems to do just fine. Now, if you were to take an app and drag it all the way over to either edge here, you'll see the same arrow tabs start to get a bit bigger with a larger frame around it. This is how you get into slide over. Now, slide over was actually reintroduced back in the current 26.1 update that's actually out now for everyone, but I didn't cover that here, so I kind of wanted to show you both in this latest release. The only bummer with slide over, in my opinion, is you can't have multiple apps on top of each other and then slide up into the app switcher for those apps that are specifically in slide over. This is the way it was before. Now it kind of seems to just be limited to one app at a time. If you want to change that app though, it works the same as split view. You just drag and drop another one right on top of the current slide over window, and it'll go ahead and replace it. You can obviously tuck this into the edge of the screen and then slide it back over, hence the name. But there is a persistent tab here letting you know that you have an app in slide over. Sometimes that arrow tab does disappear, but you can just slide from the edge of the display and bring the app to the forefront. But yeah, that's iPadOS 26.2 beta so far. There are other little changes from iOS that have migrated over to the iPad, but I mostly wanted to highlight the improvements and the return of the beloved split view and slide over features. And of course, would love to hear from you in the comments down below. Were you one of those that were absolutely devastated when those two things were removed? Do you like the new features better and you didn't care? Let me know down in those comments. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.